Welcome our students. We would like to start a revision lesson with you for the third cluster. So welcome to third cluster revision for grade 8. Firstly, we would like to say that we have two parts in our revision. The first part is for grammar and the second part is for writing. Part 1, grammar focus, and we will revise passive voice. As we can see here in this example, the thief takes the money, and here the thief is the subject, takes verb, the money object. And if we note, takes is in the present, there is s, present simple. So in passive, what we do, as you know, we start with the object to come in the first, the money, and then we deal with the verb. As we said before, what we do, we use verb to be in the present is or are, then the verb 3 from takes, taken. So it will be the money is taken, and at the end we can say by the thief, or we can drop them. We can say the money is taken or the money is taken by the thief. Another example here, people plant bananas in Brazil. If we ask where is the object here, it is the third part of the sentence, and here people plant bananas, bananas will come to be the new subject. Yes, look here, plant is still present, but the new subject is not singular, it's plural, bananas. So we use are, and the verb 3 from plant is planted. So the sentence is bananas are planted where? In Brazil. Again we say it's not a must to say by people. The third sentence, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Here is a new tense. Invented is in the past. So when we use verb to be, as you know, we use verb to be in the past, was or were. Again we start with the object, light bulb, then the verb was invented by Thomas Edison. Great. Here Hamad studied the lessons. Yes, we start with the object, the lessons. Was or where, it will be where, because lessons here is in the plural form. Yes, so the lessons were studied by Hamad. So we have revised here passive voice in the present simple is are, verb 3, and in the past simple was or were, verb 3. Now with part 2, writing, and we have in the two modules 2 examples of writing. The first one is writing about advantages and disadvantages. We talk advantages and disadvantages of mobile phones, of internet, of technology, how to deal with both sides. Okay, here as mentioned in your book, we have here, you should start in the introduction part. This is like an organizer, writing organizer. You start, what is the topic of the essay? The topic of the essay, what is the title, what is the sentence you will start your topic about. For example, I will say the internet has a lot of advantages and disadvantages. You can say mobile phones has a lot of advantages and disadvantages to start with. Then here is the main part. You divide your ideas, you organize your ideas into the advantages and disadvantages. Here advantages and here the disadvantages. You just mention 2 of the advantages and 2 of the disadvantages, and each one you mention an example. For example, when you talk about advantages of mobile phone or of internet, for example, mobile phone, you say in the example here, in the advantages, you say, firstly, it is easy to carry. For example, it's on the size of hand, you can carry it anywhere and everywhere. Number two, you can say it's practical, or it's smart, or I can chat, I can use the internet using the smartphones. You can write a lot of advantages, just two with examples. And for disadvantages, you can say for the mobile phone, for example, you can say it is costly because you have to pay for the calls, and each year new mobile phones are produced, so you sometimes you feel you would like to buy a new one to be modern like your friends. Number two, you can say it wastes time because of smartphones. There's a lot of games and the internet, you're still chatting, playing games, and you stay up late without studying or sleeping, so it wastes your time. This is one of the disadvantages. So you organized here your ideas, the advantages and disadvantages. Then the last part, the conclusion. You give a general statement on the topic. You say, for example, as we said, mobile phones have both advantages and disadvantages. Or as we said, we have good things and bad things in using the mobile phone. And you conclude with your opinion, general opinion. You say mobile phones should be used wisely, for example. Or finally, we should get the benefits of the advantages of the mobile phones and use it wisely, and not to look for the disadvantages, for example. In sentence, to conclude your writing. As we see here, this is an example from your book, but it's about the internet, the advantages and disadvantages of using the internet. Here is the introduction. The internet is one of the greatest inventions of the 20th century. Some people cannot live without it, while others believe it can play a negative role in the life of its users. Here is the main part. We would like to go to the advantages with examples. Firstly, secondly, in addition. Here, using the internet has many advantages. Firstly, it is a source of information. Users can find information on just about every possible topic. Students can do research for school assignments and find data that is not available anywhere else. Secondly, the internet is a tool of communication. You keep in touch with friends and family with internet video and voice calls, instant messaging, and email. In addition, through social networking, you can meet people with similar interests, share information, and look for a job. Here are the advantages with examples. Now, moreover, another advantage you can add, moreover, the internet offers several online services which make our everyday lives easier. For example, you can pay bills, book tickets, or do your shopping. Here are the advantages. Now, on the other hand, we will here refer to the disadvantages. On the other hand, there are lots of disadvantages too. Children, teenagers, and even adults can easily become addicted to the internet. People get isolated because they prefer surfing in a virtual world rather than going out. Kids spend their free time playing online games and become less active. Another danger is online crime. Users should be careful because personal details can be stolen without warning. Lastly, computers with internet connection can be at risk. They can get viruses that have the capacity to destroy all the programs or delete information. Here we have finished the main part, advantages and disadvantages. Here is the conclusion. Finally, to sum up, using the internet has many advantages, but we must not forget the disadvantages. In my opinion, the internet is very useful. However, people should use it wisely. So here you have covered the introduction, the main part with both sides, and the conclusion, and the last sentence is your opinion. Okay. The second writing topic you have an example of module 6. We have writing about a newsletter. You know, you have in module 5 advantages and disadvantages, and you have also talking about your country, the places you can go visit in your country. And in module 6 we have writing a newsletter, and we have also writing about pollution and water pollution. But here we take one example of writing in the module 5 advantages and disadvantages, and here in module 6 we have an example of newsletter. Again, when you make an organizer, you start with the headline. You are talking about a natural disaster, for example, and you write a newsletter about describing this natural disaster. So your headline is talking about the hurricane, a strange hurricane, for example, a fatal earthquake, whatever the headline you are talking about. Then the introduction, you mentioned briefly in the first paragraph where and when did the event take place, who was involved, people in this city, tourists who were involved, at school, students, whatever, and was anyone hurt, injuries, deaths, for example, in brief in the introduction. Okay, then in the main part again you organize your ideas. Try to answer these questions when you write a newsletter. You write, for example, why or how did the event happen, then what happened, why or how did the event happen, yes, then what did the people do during the event, what happened after the event, and finally, was any damage caused, were people injured, and in the last paragraph, the conclusion, you write an overall opinion about the event and a general statement about the event. For example, it was not very dangerous, or it was not an easy disaster. You can write a quotation on the tongue of one of the residents or one of the witnesses of the disaster, like this natural disaster newsletter in your book also. Cindy heads to the store yesterday. This is the first paragraph. In brief, the place, the time. Okay, here. Yesterday, our neighboring town, Tidstow, was hit by one of the strongest hurricanes of the last 20 years. Cindy, the name of the hurricane, has caused major damage already, leaving people homeless and injured, and it's only the start of the hurricane season. Here, the first paragraph mentioned the place, the timing, and a short idea about the damage or the injuries. Here are the details. What were people doing, what happened after that, and about the injury, the deaths, etc. And here, the last paragraph, the opinion, general idea about what happened. We can move on to read the last paragraph. The people of Tidstow are terrified by the developments, but they are trying not to panic. Here is a quotation mark. You can't fight against the elements. Let's just hope we will be better prepared in case another hurricane strikes. One of the residents said. There is a good quotation you can conclude your writing with. This is the example of a newsletter writing topic. So when you write, finally, you have to remember that you should pay attention to punctuation, capital letters, as you know, full stops, commas, question marks, spaces in the start of paragraphs. The spelling you have to make like proofreading. After you finish, try to read it again. Be quiet. Don't be in a hurry when you write, to be concise. And again, consider on what tense you are writing, the grammar. Are you describing something in the past? You use, like the newsletter, you use hit, was, were, injured, okay? So you are describing something in the past, you use past simple. If you are just talking about advantages and disadvantages, you are telling facts, so you talk in the present simple. So you have to decide on what tense are you using, okay? And finally, I hope you the best of luck. Don't forget to revise your work, revise the exercises you have answered in the classroom in both books, student book and exercise book. This is for the revision lesson, and the best of luck. Thank you.